you know it's what I always wanted. Could never have too many things. Well, you quit kicking me under the table. I'm trying, will somebody make us shut up about it? Can we settle down, please?
Shalom, this is your Ark. Yah is magnified, coming back with another informative video. I titled this video, Put Them on Notice. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth, nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm doing this video because it's that time of year when a lot of brothers hit me up because they received letters stating that their income tax will be intercepted. Okay, they received a notice from the agency stating that their income tax will be intercepted and they have 21 to 30 days to respond back. Okay, and if they do not respond back, then their income tax checks will be intercepted and taken from them and sent to the child's mom by the agency. Okay, so we all must know, if they can send you notices to do these things to you, then you can send those notices right back to free yourself or to help yourself be free. Okay, so for all my brothers out there fighting, if they can do it to you, then you can go back and do the exact same thing to them. I tell y'all over and over and over again, the playing field is even on both sides of the field. Just learn the rules of the game first. If you never played football before, but you go out on that field, they pass you the ball, you don't know what to do. Next thing you know, you get cracked and your back all broke. You know, they injured you. Then that's on you. Why? Because you got in the playing field and you didn't know the rules. Same thing with child support. You go into these courts, or you dealing with a system that's placed before you that operates on rules. Okay, and if you don't know the rules of the game, but you want to play this game, then you will lose and you will get injured in the process. Okay, because that's what they're causing to us men out here who are dealing with the situation. They what's causing all of us injury. Okay, so I'm here to give you all knowledge and truth of how to free yourselves from this injury, so you all can have a better understanding on how to fight and deal with this situation. Okay, as I did. Alright, like I stated before, I fought for freedom, and everyone else that's going through it must do the same. It's no overnight quick fix success. You know, sometimes it is. Everybody's situation is different. You know, especially if you stop it before it starts. But if you wait till the last minute and let the hole get deeper and deeper and deeper, the longer you wait, the bigger the hole. Okay, if you was in a situation for years, don't expect you to be off in less than a month or so. No, you have to fight. You know, if you was on this thing for years, then you might have to fight for years to get off. But you must fight, because if you don't fight, you don't win. That's it, that's all. But let's get back to the topic at hand. As you can see on the screen, it says notice, right? Coming out of the Black Law Dictionary. Let's read it. Notice is what? Information. The result of observation, whether by the senses or the mind. So when they give you notice, then they're giving you notice because they want to give you information. But not only do they want to give you information, they want to give you information that they believe that they had a meetings of the minds to give you. But if there was no true meetings of the mind, but they still coming after you and giving you these bogus notices, but if you don't respond back to these notices and just sit on them, next thing you know, when you go, you know, to file your income taxes or they suspend your license, they all sending you notices before they do any of that. And these notices have a certain amount of days for you to respond back to them. But if you just sit on these notices, or you take these notices and send them back, then that's it. It's called an income withholding order / notice. So if you don't respond back to these things and you just sit on them, then you gave them the right to do what they want to do because they're going to pursue with it. Okay? But let's continue. It says knowledge of the existence of a fact or state of affairs. So again, a notice, when you're giving out a notice, then you're giving out knowledge. The Most High said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. But let's continue. The means of knowledge. That's exactly what it states. It's the means of knowledge. So if it's the means of knowledge, knowledge is power. So a notice is what? A notice is a means of knowledge. And if knowledge is power, then a notice is power. That's how they can come and do what they want to do, because they're giving you knowledge. And they're telling you what they're going to do. So now you know. And now that you know, and if you don't disagree, and if you don't reply back, then your silence is agreement. Plain and simple, simple and plain. That's case law to back it up. But let's continue. Knowledge of fact, which would naturally lead an honest and prudent person to make inquiries, constitutes notice of everything which such inquiries pursue in good faith would disclose. Okay? So if they sending you a notice, but this notice is not an act of good faith, then that notice is what? It's an act of bad faith. And we're going to go over that. We're going to prove that as we continue to read the definitions. Okay? But let's continue. No, that's case law to back that up. But let's continue. In another sense, notice means information and advice or written warning. So whenever they give you documentation or notice, it is a written warning stating that in a certain amount of days, if you do not reply back, and if you do not challenge this notice, then that means that you agree because I gave you knowledge of what I was going to do. Okay? But let's continue. In more or less formal shape, intended to appraise a person of some proceedings in which his interests are involved, or informing him of some fact which it is his right to know and duty of the notifying party to communicate. So now, when they bring it to these courts, when they send you these notices, it says it's involving his interest. So when they giving you these notices, right, to take your income taxes is in your interest. Or they suspending your license, that's in your interest. If they send you notices garnishing your bank account, putting levies on your bank account, that's in your interest. That's why they sending it to you. Okay? It's not your name. No, it's not. They're not talking to you, a living man. But what they do to the fiction, it affects the living man's interest. Why? Because the living man holds interest in all property belonging to the fiction. It's simple. Everybody needs to wrap their mind around what's really going on and pay close attention to why these people are sending you notices. Okay, but let's continue. It states, under the negotiable instrument law. Now remember, my last video I did, non-negotiable, right? They bring you in there to do what? To negotiate. To negotiate what? Child support. For what? The ward of the state, or the creation of the state, which is the child. Okay? If they're not talking about your living, breathing offspring. No, they're talking about the fiction creation of the state. Okay? Which the state holds interest in. Okay? And they want you to believe that it's your child, your living, breathing offspring that they're talking about. It's not yours. It's theirs. It's their property. Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and render the things that are Yah to the things that are Yah. Meaning the Most High is life. Let the dead bury their dead. These people are dead, man. They're dealing in death. But until you all realize that and believe and know that you are living and you are a breathing man created in the image and the likeness of the Most High Yah, then and only then will you see this truth. Okay, but let's continue. It states, under the negotiable instrument law, notice of infirmity of instrument is actual knowledge, or knowledge of such facts that's taken note amounts to bad faith. What I tell y'all earlier, we gonna get to this bad faith thing. Now they want to negotiate they want to negotiate your living, breathing offspring, right? By using a dead entity creation of the state known as a child, which is a ward of the state, meaning the child is the person of the state. So if the child is a ward of the state, then the child is property of the state, not your living, breathing offspring. Stop being confused about what is real and what is fake. Okay? Notice, notice, notice. Like they give you notice, you give them notice. Okay? The game is even on both sides of the field. But let's stroll up. Let's go right here. Actual notice has been defined as notice expressly and actually given and brought home to the and brought home to the party directly, right? It states, that's case law to back it up. The term actual notice, however, is generally given a wider meaning as embracing two classes, expressed and implied. The former includes all knowledge of a decree above that which depends upon collateral inferences, or which imposes upon the party the further duties of inquiry. The latter imputes knowledge to the party because he is shown to be the conscious of having the means of knowledge. Okay? So again, notice is knowledge. Alright? So when you put them on notice like they put you on notice, then you're giving them knowledge of what you're going to do to them. Or knowledge of why they shouldn't take your property or why they shouldn't try to harm your interests. Put them on notice like they put you on notice. But let's continue. In this sense, actual notice is such notice as is positively proved to have been given to a party directly and personally, or such as he is presumed to have received personally because the evidence within his knowledge was sufficient to put him upon inquiry. So again, remember that when they are talking about this knowledge or these notices, all notices are expressing some form of knowledge for we all to know. Okay, so stop perishing for a lack of knowledge, meaning stop perishing from not responding back to the notices. Okay, they're giving you notices or knowledge of what they're going to do to you. Now you have to be counterproductive. Work, do what you have to do. Let's go to constructive notice. Constructive notice for information of knowledge of a fact imputed by law to a person, although he may not actually have it, because he could have discovered the fact by proper diligence. So again, if you do your due diligence, once they give you a notice, then you can require about the proper facts. If you see anything wrong on them documents that they send you, then correct the mistakes. That's it. By responding back to the notice. But let's continue. Because he could have discovered the fact by the preponderance of diligence, and his situation was such as to cast upon him the duty of inquiring into it. Case law to back it up. So now, once they send you a notice, which is knowledge of what they're going to do to you, you now have a duty to inquire about the knowledge that they sent to you to pursue on a case or to pursue on to take your property if you do not respond back. So now it's your duty to inquire about this notice and what they're doing, or to rebut the notice. That's it, that's all. And if you put them on notice and they don't rebut your notice, then guess what? The game is the same on both sides. It's no different. If they can do you like that, you can do them like that. But let's continue on. Let's go to a few notices that the child support agency send you, so you all can see firsthand that they're all notices. That's it. That's all. They're notices. Even the income withholding order is a notice. Let's go there. Okay, so as you all can see on the screen, this is an income withholding for support. But let's look at the top X on the left hand side. It states original income withholding order slash notice for support. So it's still what? It's a notice. The notice is given to who? The employer and the employee. Okay, and if neither one of them respond back or challenge this order slash notice, and they agree to this order slash notice by non-response to it, then they have the right to garnish or do whatever they want to do to your wages until you man up and challenge the order, okay, or the notice. But let's go to the next one. They also do what? Notifications of administrative offsets. A notification is what? A notification is still a notice. But let's continue. Part or all of your Utah state income tax refund has been offset or levied. So now, if you do not respond back to this, then guess what? You agree. Okay? You agree to the offset slash levy. Same thing if you don't respond back to the IWO, which is the income withholding orders or the income withholding notification or the income withholding notice. Let's go to the next one. Driver license. What that state at the top? Notice of intent to suspend driver license and motor vehicle registrations for non-payment of child support. So before they suspend your license, they give you what? A notice. And when they give you that notice, you also have a set amount of time to respond back to these notices. Okay, so once you receive them, you should be responding back to any notice you receive immediately. Once they mail it to you, respond back. Work on your response. Have your response pre-made. So when that time do come, you don't have to wait. You receive it one day, the next day, or 2 days later, no later than 2 or 3 days later, you should be out back in the mail, responding back to what's going on, or to their inquiry, or to their notices, with your counter notices. But let's continue. Let's stroll up. Let's see if it's on here. Trying to see if they have it, what to do. Here it is right here. Number 2. It tells you what to do. It says you have 20 days from the date of this notice to what? Pay the amount you are behind in full and stay current in your payments. Then it states, hold on. It states, sign a written agreement to make payments on the amount you are behind. Provide documentation that you receive reemployment assistance or unemployment compensation, are disabled and incapable of supporting yourself, receive SSI, which is supplemental security income benefits, receive social security disability income benefits, receive temporary cash assistance, are paying child support payments under a confirmed bankruptcy plan under Chapter 11, 12, or 13 of the United States Constitution, bankruptcy codes, or contest this action by filing a petition in the circuit court. Okay? But let's continue. It says, please tell us right away. Why are they telling you to do that? Because they're giving you a notice, which means they're giving you knowledge of what they're going to do. And if you don't disagree with this knowledge, then you make their statement or notice facts. And that you make their notice facts, they can move forward or proceed to do what they want to do, such as suspend your license, garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, wherever, if you don't respond back. But let's continue. It says, please tell us right away if you believe this notice was sent in error. If a mistake was made, we will stop this action. Okay? So again, it's so plain to see. It's so simple and plain to see. So it's important that you all respond back to their notices, and it's important for you all to also see your own notices. Okay? But that's what I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up at my email at y'allismagnified@gmail.com. All my brothers out there fighting, continue to fight. Don't quit. Don't give up. Okay? Like I tell y'all, it's not an easy fight. But it's a fight worth fighting if you're willing to fight. Okay? You're gonna get knocked down. If you get knocked down, okay, pick yourself back up. You know? People make mistakes all the time, but get up, dust yourself off, and continue this fight. Because the fight is worth fighting. Especially if you know you want to win. Like me, I told y'all, I wasn't gonna stop the fight until I won. You know? Until I won. And I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting. Even after I won, I'm still fighting. Why? Because I need to get paid. That's it. That's all. They're going to pay me. I'm talking about big bucks, man. I'm not going to play no games with them. They're going to pay me. Yeah, I won. But so what? That's not good enough to me. Would they put me through pain, stress, and all that? You know, even though I learned so much and I can help brothers out. Yeah, it's true. But what they did, you know, by interfering in something they had nothing to do with, man, it caused too much injury and pain. So, I know what you all going through. I know what you all been through. Because I've been through it. You know, like I told you, it ain't take me. It took, I was like, what, 3 or 4 years before I finally got remedy. You know? But I stuck there and I stuck through it. Anybody that's fighting, you must stick through it. Yeah, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to hear bad news. You know, you might go to court. You might lose. But so what? You know, when I was going to face jail time. It was either fight or go to jail. I chose to do the first option. And that was the fight. So I fought. And I won. Same thing with you all. Go in there and fight. No matter what. Fight like your life depends on it. Because it does. You know? This thing not going to simply go away because you think, you know, you feel as though you can close your eyes and the boogeyman going to get out the closet. Nah. These people are not going to go away. They're going to pound and pound and pound and pound on you as long as you let them. You let them, they're going to do it. So, again, the fight is worth fighting if you all are willing to fight. But before I leave, again, if you all need my help, hit me up in my email at y'allismagnified@gmail.com. You all be blessed. Enjoy y'all day. Shalom.